Hello, lovelies. As you know, all month long, I am solving your weeknight dinner dilemmas with quick and easy ideas that come together in absolutely no time, but your family is sure to love. And that is definitely the case with today's recipe, this absolutely amazing Italian sausage, pepper, and rice skillet. It tastes totally divine, but it is so simple to make. And it all starts with a nice big skillet heating up on the stove. Now I love this recipe because not only does it taste so good, but it's all made in a single pan. So that means fewer dishes for you. What's not to like about that? Now I'm just gonna get started by heating up some oil here over medium-high heat. And we're just gonna let that oil heat up for about 30 seconds or so before we start cooking our hot Italian sausage. Now I'm using hot Italian sausage in this recipe. I love it, it's super flavorful. Elle actually tends to really enjoy a little bit of spice, which I love and is very unexpected. So I add a little spice when I can. As she would say, it's spicy. Spicy, spicy, that's what she says. This isn't a wildly spicy dish, but it does have a bit of a kick. You can swap in some mild Italian sausage here if you want to, that would totally work. You could also use some ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, or ground pork. So this is a really versatile recipe. You could even use some veggie crumbles, like tofu crumbles, if you wanted to keep this vegetarian. That is totally an option. Basically, all we wanna do is brown our meat in our pan, breaking it up with the side of our spoon. And as soon as it's cooked through, we can go ahead and add even more goodness to the pan. Here I've got some diced onion as well as some diced bell pepper. I'm using orange and red because that's what I had on hand, but any colors will do. This is one of those dishes where you can really load in the veggies, and it's so flavorful that your family might not even notice. Now at this point, we just want to let our onion and bell peppers cook away until they're softened, which usually takes between, say, 2 to 3 minutes. Just as soon as those veggies have softened up, we can get even more great flavor into the pan, starting with some minced garlic. I've got 2 cloves here. You can use as little or as much as you like, as always. And I've also got some Italian seasoning. Now I'm using store-bought Italian seasoning here, but homemade would work. I have a recipe for homemade Italian seasoning on our site, Healthy Meal Plans. I will link it in the description box below if you want to give it a try yourself. It's so easy to make. Now, as soon as that garlic is nice and fragrant, we can go ahead and add our rice to this. Now here, I'm using just some plain white rice. You could definitely do this with brown rice if you wanted to, or quinoa, or even pasta would work in this recipe. You just want to adjust the cooking times accordingly. Once my rice is in the pan, I want to get some liquid into the pan as well. And in this case, I'm doing that with some chicken broth as well as some fire roasted diced tomatoes. Now, diced tomatoes are a total staple in my pantry, but I have to say right now, fire roasted diced tomatoes have become my absolute fave. They've got a bit of a smoky flavor, courtesy of the fire roasting, that is irresistible. But if you only have traditional diced tomatoes, they will definitely work in this recipe as well. Basically, at this point, I just want to give this all a good mix and then let it come to a boil. As soon as this reaches a boil, we're going to pop a lid on our skillet, reduce the heat to low, and let this simmer away for about 15 minutes or so, or until that rice is nice and tender and almost all the liquid has been absorbed. All right, team, the moment of truth. Look at what we have here. Saucy deliciousness, loads of peppers and tomatoes, that amazing sausage. To finish off this delicious dish, I want to load in even more veggie goodness. And today I'm doing that with some baby kale that I've just given a quick chop to. You could definitely do this with some spinach if you wanted to. You could also use frozen spinach or kale. Those are really, really convenient and perfect in a dish like this. We'll just stir in our kale until it's completely incorporated. And then the final step is just going to be adding some freshly chopped parsley to this. I love that nice burst of freshness in this delicious, savory, sort of spicy dish. It really adds something at the very end. Guys, this dish is absolutely to die for in terms of flavor. It's really rich, hearty, comforting, and perfect for the fall season. I hope you will give it a try for yourselves, and if you do, as always, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo, because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. Remember, this recipe, like all of our recipes, is available on our amazing meal planning site, healthymealplans.com, where you can browse through more than 1,000 recipes, drag and drop them into your weekly meal plan, and then automatically generate your shopping list for the week. How easy does that sound? I really hope you'll give it a try. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.